Hi. We got your tape today, and well, not today, but oh, I don't know when. But anyway, we got your our crossbow today. It's pretty well designed and everything. Because of technical difficulties beyond our control, we won't be able to broadcast as soon as you'd think. Well, please stand by. So here's what it sounds like in the house. Well, I was wondering if I should take the crossbow to school for show and tell. We don't have show and tell, but to show the class. Well, I've got this spoof news report that I'll record in just a minute. Okay. Ladies and gents, look at the world today on KOOK. KOOK tells you what's going on. Electrician must be a Democrat here. Well, we'll look at the world, but first this message. Buy red goose shoes and they'll never run out. Buy red goose shoes and you'll run about. Red goose shoes. Well, here's how the world looks today. A petroleum plant was reported being burnt today because someone smoked within 99 feet and 11 inches just to see what had happened. The fire extinguishers at the plant were used, but being saturated with petroleum did not do a bit of good. Heavy rocket attacks have been continuing on Vietnam. Well, not Pleiku, but it has been discovered the words U.S. Air Force on the side of the rocket. They've been hijacking our spaceships. Onassis was struck with an attack of a disease in the brain, but it was not fatal. He went to Greece and made a Yankee go home sign. The Tampa Cigar Company has been hijacked to Cuba. Negroes have been integrated with white people. The jobless whites have moved into the slums. A 20-year-old actress, Ghoul Mildew, was reported shot and killed, but Rocky Blake of the murder was convicted of the murder. But a French scene in Hollywood streets, Ghoul was still alive and unhurt. Rock was arrested for violence, as well as the producer and directors. Another plane hijacking was reported. The hijacker looted and camouflaged the plane, and the schematic will put the schematic on his will after the death penalty. The loot will be used on his coffin and tomb, and the pay to the grave diggers. Hubert Humphrey does regret conceding on the election, so he undermined the White House on a Welcome Home from Europe party. Several guests were collapsed through the floor. Richard M. Nixon sued the exterminator. Meditating has been heavy in Tibet, so now they have cable cars to the top of the Tibetan plateau. And that's how the world looks today on KOOK. Gee, I'd make a good news reporter, wouldn't I, Dad? Well, our stuff got over here all right, but Larry didn't get his crates, and didn't get his crate. They had to take it back, and our bicycles came through all right, but my back tire was flat, and I can't ride it. John's came through all right and wasn't hurt or anything. The rest of our household goods were all came through all right, except for a teak chair that got cracked. The kitchen TV's speaker is burnt out or something, or the speaker doesn't work. We've got that portable TV in the kitchen now. Well, there's not too much going on around here. How are things over there? Have they completely stopped the rocket attacks, or have they had one or two rockets? I hope everything's okay over there and there's not too much danger about Charlie getting in. Well, bye. Hey, no, hold it. Here's Sport. He wants to say hi. Oh. I think he's in the mood for talking right now. Well, bye now. Take care of yourself and be safe during rocket attacks. Well, take care of yourself. Bye. Hi, Dad. This is John. Please excuse Danny for wasting most of the tape, or however much he did waste. In school, before I have first period, we go to the auditorium, and there's this whole gang of Negro girls that are down there, and somehow they got the word, like everybody else did, that we lived in Germany, and they keep saying, "What's my name in German? Hey, what's my name in German? How do you say Debbie in German?" and all that. And I keep trying to bluff them and all sorts of stuff. And then some of them asked me to write something in German, so I just say, "Oh, later," because I didn't want them to find out. Well, I just want to play along with them. Kind of stupid, huh? I'm doing pretty well in school. Lately, I got a 91 on a science test today, and yesterday I got an 88 on a history test. And let me see. In English, I'm doing okay too, I guess. And what else is there? Oh, in math, the whole class as a whole aren't doing very well either. We're kind of moving slowly in it, but I am in the high group. He finally divided them up. Danny said that my bicycle came through okay, didn't he? Well, it didn't come through okay. It was okay for about the first week, and then when I tried to ride it, I went over that little thing, out front where the bushes are and the sidewalk just drops off. Well, I went over that slowly, moderately slow, and those bolts that you put in. Well, anyway, they gave way. Half of them were missing, so just half as many were supporting the seat, and they kind of gave way, and the seat fell down on the back tire, pushed the fender down, and it's a mess now. It's inoperable. But as soon as I find some bolts I can put in there, I'll do it and have some more happy bicycle riding. I had to get a haircut today, and boy, you should see it. It makes me look like Henry, the guy in the comic strip, would look to a hippie just about. He shaved the back instead of squaring it, and he cut my sideburns off real short, and he cut the front and thinned it all out. Ooh, it looks horrible. Larry got a haircut today too, and Pat and Danny got one. yesterday. No, the day before. Today's Monday. Let me see. Yeah, and theirs aren't as bad as mine. I'm mad. We went up to Granddad's Saturday afternoon and met the Roaches there. You know, Mom or Aunt Wilma had called and planned it all. And we gave them the clock there. And we brought Granddad along. We had pretty much fun. We found 3 more forks there. You know, those antique type. And we found a glass, and we found an old dog skull. And we found, let me see. Well, we found all sorts of stuff in Aunt Ida's house. And, oh, let me see. Oh, yeah, now I remember. We tried to get the door handle off of the door in her house, you know. And, anyway, I kept kicking at the door and pulling on the door handle and trying to get the door open so, you know, I could turn it a little better or something. And I kicked the panels out of the door, and then finally the whole door started breaking, so we just gave up and left the door handle there. Sport had quite a time over the weekend, too. He rolled in some horse manure, I think it was, and he tried to chase some cows out in the pasture, but we held him. He was pretty mad about that, and he kept trying to get down. You know, we were walking through the woods, and whew, did he stink when we brought him home. He had a bath last night, by the way. Aunt Helen and Lynn came over last night with their little tornado, and Lynn fixed the clock, you know, the big grandfather clock, and now it strikes at 7 o'clock. It's 15 till now, or 6:30 or something, or 15 after, maybe. Well, I'll let you hear the chimes at 7, okay? Well, bye for now. You missed part of them. Sorry about that.
Hi, Dad. This is Pat, and let me see, it's about 10 o'clock on the... Hold it, let me check. On the 10th. 10th of March, Monday. And I just got... Oh, let me see, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I just got finished reading all the papers. I was about 3 weeks behind reading papers, or 2 weeks behind. I just finished reading them all. And I started to collect for my paper out today. I collected from about 10 people. Boy, is it ever cold here. We're getting north winds, and at Granddad's is down to 18 degrees or something like that. It's real cold. We got real freezing there, and I brought yours and my 22 up there, and Edwin used yours, and I used mine. I brought a couple of boxes of shells. Galen and I were supposed to go shooting with Jimmy Saturday, but we went to Granddad's instead. We had a lot of fun, too. Edwin and I went fishing. We used dog food for bait because that's all we had. We didn't get any fish, though, of course. Oh, let me see. I got my route down pretty good now. I can do it. I usually start at I leave the paper office at about 20 after 4, and I'm finished by 10 or 15 after 5, which is pretty good, I think. Hold it. I think... No, I usually leave at about 4:30. Leave the paper office about 4:30, because I do it in 45 minutes. And I'll be getting $72 a month for 5 weeks, that is. And by the way, last Wednesday, it was about, let me see, nearly 12 o'clock, and the phone rang, and Mom answered it in her room, and it was Conrad calling from BC, and Mom came up here, and she couldn't get me up, and she just kept trying, shaking me and everything else, and couldn't get me up until finally, I went downstairs and we only had about 45 seconds left, and we talked just for that. And we're gonna try to call each other again, you know. And I think Larry and I are gonna go to Canada this summer, and he says he's gonna get a ride with his kid. He's a crazy kid. Get a ride up to Canada with him because he's going up around there somewhere to Michigan, or I don't know, somewhere around up there. And Larry's gonna get a ride up there instead of spending his money for a plane. Oh yeah, John Clarkson, you know, one of the guys I know in Germany. I sent him $5 to get me this record up there, and he sent it to me, and it got here in good shape, all right. Let me see. I made 100% on a English test the other day, and a 77, which is a C on a Latin test. I'm nearly caught up in Latin, but in world history I'm still pretty far behind. But I think I might be able to catch up by the end, maybe just go to summer school for a couple of weeks, but I'm going to work hard and try not to. Let me see, what else is there to tell? My paper out, yeah, I've told you about that. It's about 6.5 miles long and 181 customers on it, all around SCA and everything. I still haven't gotten my tape from Conrad yet, a return yet. Brent Murray sent me a letter and gave me his picture the other day, last week sometime. And Jimmy's real sick or something, I don't know. He's got a real bad cold, and that's what Helen told us. And Jim went. Helen told us last night that Jim Mayberry went to TDY to Korea for a couple of weeks. And Mary Ellen, you heard about that disease she had, huh? It's doing all right now. I think that's what they said. You know that, I don't know what it's called. Hey Dad, could you see if you could record some shells and everything's exploding over there, you know, rockets and everything if you can. Doesn't matter if they're taped good or not, because you've got a lot of tape to waste. I just want to hear it. Oh, we got your crossbow today. It's real neat. We're just going to hang it up over the mantle because it's so expensive, I bet you. How much did it cost? It's mahogany, isn't it? And it said it took a sun up till sundown to carve, and it's perfect balance and everything. So we're just gonna hang it up, I guess. It looked real good. And the clock downstairs works fine now. I'll go downstairs and record it for you, okay? Okay, next thing you hear will be the clock. Signing off for now. Okay, Dad, it's several minutes after 10 now, and I'm going to pull that cord, you know, that makes a clock ding, and it's going to ding. This is how it sounds on the hour. Oh, as soon as I get this open, there's 3 latches on it. Good grief. Now, here it goes. This is what it sounds like on the hour. Well, it left out a couple of dings. It just went bing, 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 bing. It's supposed to go bing, 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 bing. Then ding, you know. Oh well. No. Oh yeah, I gave Sport a bath yesterday because he rolled in some cow dew or horse dew or something. And He walked out on this pond on some ice yesterday. We shoved him out, really, but it didn't break. He's doing pretty good. Here, I'll get him to talk to you. Just a minute. Okay, Dad. Here, Sport's sitting right here. I'm gonna try to make him growl or bark or something. Roll over, Sport. Sport, growl. I'm trying to rile him up. Hear that, Dad? Ow! Oh! Now then, he's scared of this symbol I brought, and he barks at it. Except he just ran away. Oh, hold it. I'll try to get him again. Hold on. Okay, Dad. He's back again. You better growl now. Sport, growl. Hear him? Oh, he's scared of the microphone too. Hold it, I'll bring it in the kitchen. That's where he keeps running. Just a minute, he's in a grouchy mood. I'll be back. A second. Okay, here he is again, if he'll talk. Here. Sport, talk. He's trying to bite the microphone. He bit at that time. I think you might have heard him. Hold it, I'll bring him back. He ran away. I think he's hungry now. He doesn't like this microphone. Hold it, I'm gonna run it back and see if it recorded. Oh well, he's about too tired now. He's grouchy. I'll try to make him bark sometime when he's outside or something like that, if he will. Oh well, I'm gonna go to bed now. Good night.
Tuesday noon, I just listened to what the boys recorded last night. Sounds like they didn't leave anything for me to say. It's cold here, all right. It's been about 20 degrees 3 days in a row now, and warms up to about 40. It's clear and sunny, but bitter. Shouldn't ask embarrassing questions like where did we put the electronic gear. Would you believe all over the dining room, just here and there. We haven't got it all hooked up and checked out yet. You wouldn't believe how things can get lost and misplaced. I've looked at 30 minutes for this tape and found it on the end of the cabinet in another box. Got your letter you wrote Saturday this morning, just now. I guess that's probably the rocket attacks they reported in Sunday's paper. When they say today or last night or something in the paper, I never know if they're talking about our time or the time it happened there. Larry didn't record any on this tape. He had to write an 8-page theme on Hamlet. He was supposed to do it over the weekend, and he told me about it over at Dad's about 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon, so he didn't quite make it. So he worked on it last night and didn't it was noon. Anyway, Larry didn't record any on this tape, but I imagine he will on the next one or whenever he gets the time. The grandfather didn't strike when it came. I didn't tell you about it because I knew that some little thing needed adjusting, but I couldn't figure out what. Lynn and Helen came by Sunday night, and Lynn looked at it, and he adjusted what I had decided was the diddly bob that needed adjusting, but it was tightened down so tight I didn't loosen it to turn the hammers on a shaft so they'd hit the chimes and strike. The clock was laying on its side in the big wooden crate, and I guess it just, the constant jarring turned the hammers on that shaft just enough that they'd come back and forth, but then they wouldn't go forth far enough to hit the chimes to strike the hour. But it works fine now. And the mantel clock, the little spring like Sergeant Wines gave us for the grandfather clock, was broken. The packer left the pendulum hooked on, I guess, and this broke the spring, if you remember what those things look like that he taped to that ditto sheet that he gave you. I took the spring, the two pieces, and mailed them back to him Friday to Sergeant Wines to see if he could get me a new one like it. I took it down to the watch repair Monday last week. I took it over to what's that? That one across from the depot there. Anyway, that fella back there said he didn't work on clocks much, but he sure wished he had that clock. And he said take it down to Robinette's and across from the bank, and he worked on clocks some, he thought. So would you believe there's two banks in Conway? I was running up and down across the street from the wrong bank looking for Robinette's, and it was 3 blocks further north on that same street. Anyway, I found it, and he took the piece out of the clock for me that was still attached, and the other piece was down in the bottom of the clock there. And haven't heard from Sergeant Wines yet, but I'm sure he'll be able to get us a piece. And then the fella said the repairman said he'd put it back in for me, so I think it'll turn out all right. I was going to wait to tell you about it till I got it fixed, but if I don't, one of the kids probably would tell you, so I might as well. Wilma's clock worked fine. We took it to her. Got a letter from her today. Said they got home all right, and they hung their clock on the end of the living room, the end that the doors are on that go in from the family room, you know. She said that way they could see it from the family room and also from the living room. And their big picture that she bought in Germany is hanging on the other end of the living room. So they thought that'd be a good place for the clock. This tape has been through the mill. We taped from a cassette on a tape. Then we taped from the tape back on this cassette and carried it with us to over and let Wilma and Dad listen to. The first two is all we had to take over there. So I think there may be something recorded on the other side of this that we carried over there or something. Anyway, you can disregard that. And the washing machine works like a charm. I washed yesterday and I didn't even go over to stand beside it when it started to spin. The plumbing hasn't stopped up or given us any problems since that first time we tried to pump some water out of the machine into it. Finally pulled the dishwasher around and hooked it up. It works fine, except it leaks out the bottom. It used to leak once in a while anyway, and I keep hoping maybe it's just a dried gasket or something and will stop. I mentioned that to Wilma, and she said, well, about every other time she uses hers, it leaks. If it doesn't stop soon, I'll turn it upside down and see if I can tell what's wrong with it. Need Mike Glyden here to work it over. You know, he was going to fix Aideen's, and they got a part, and he put the part in wrong, and she never did get it fixed, I don't think. Well, when we make it through this week, there'll just be 11 months left to go. I hope the brass bought your ideas of organizing an MMS. We've almost used this tape, looks like. We'll transfer these other tapes or cassettes to a tape and maybe get another tape off to you tomorrow. There's one thing the boys forgot to tell you about something they saw. I'll wait and let them tell it, Johnny and Danny, something they saw while we were over at Dad's. Take care. Love you. Bye.